All right, what's going on, guys? Another kind of pop-up stream. I know I kind of planned this earlier in the day. I was thinking about switching it up, doing it tomorrow, but I'm going to do it right now. Why not? I got some time right now. So I'm going to base this stream, this discussion, off this tweet that I saw yesterday. And this just popped up on my timeline over on X. I don't even follow this guy, Steve Laws. It's just the algorithm's interesting over there on Elon Musk's X. It just kind of popped up. I was like, okay, I knew I was going to find some good material with this. And so, just to preface, the guy here on the screen, his name is Bob Vylan, whatever, right? Like Bob Dylan, Bob Vylan. Um, and so it's a mulatto cat. I never knew who he was. I think a lot of people, most people didn't even know who he was. But recently there's some controversy because he was at a concert and basically was, going against the Israeli Defense Force, the IDF. And once that news came out that he was going against them, criticizing them, the company, that his management company, whatever, like they basically kind of fired him and they canceled all of his tour dates because he's a musician. He's like a punk kind of rap, punk rock musician in England. He's a British English guy, mulatto guy. And so yeah, I think most people didn't even know who this guy was. Never heard of him. But they're making him famous, right? The censorship crowd, right? They're making him famous now by trying to deny him a voice. Now he's becoming more popular, bigger than ever, which is sad. It has kind of an inverse effect. All these people who try to like censor you and silence you, it has an inverse effect because people are realizing, well, wait a second, why are they trying to silence this guy? Who is this guy? Who is he? And people start to kind of dig up into research. They're like, oh, wait a second, he's not that bad. He's not that bad. Now we're going to get into some of the commentary here because, yeah, just like I said, this popped up. I already heard about the story, how they basically attempted to quote unquote cancel the guy, which they can't. He's mulatto. Mulattoes are the future. They can't cancel mulattoes. Mulattoes got to wake up and smell the coffee and figure it out. Figure all this out. They can't cancel you. You're the future. They can't silence all of you. They can't silence any of us. It's up to you. A lot of you purposely kind of, silence yourselves in a way that's pretty despicable. But regardless of the fact, this guy, his whole, persona and music, career gimmick, if you want to call it, is punk rock, being edgy and all this, right? But why does this guy have a problem with him? Why does this guy, right? I don't know who he is. Like I said, it's just I don't follow him. The page Steve Laws. It just popped up on my algorithm. It says white mother, black father hates England. Many such cases. He says deport. I want to talk about this now. He often what you see with these Anglos, they'll talk about hates. You hate your country, you hate England, or you're anti-American, right? They'll say you hate America, right? And they'll use buzzwords like they'll say you're a communist or something like that. But this is their kind of authoritarian, kind of imperial mindset they're trying to have or they're initiating because you expressing your grievances with the society you're in, the Anglo imperialists, are going to frame it as though you hate the country you're in, you hate the privileges you have, you hate the, right? They're going to say you're anti-American or you hate England. Where is it that this guy says he hates England? I have not seen any reference. And they're even trying to say he's anti-white, even though he's half white. He's got a white mom. I doubt it that he's anti-white. And none of these people, they even provide receipts. They just spew this rhetoric online. This is what they always do. Right? So this boy is working for the Zionists. It's very obvious. I mean, I get told you, all the Anglos, they serve and work for the Zionists. As Alex Jones said, even over a decade ago, before he went completely mental, he even said himself that behind the veil, behind the curtain, it's Nazis and Zionists. And into the public, they'll pretend like they're fighting each other, but behind the scenes, they're working out all these agreements and deals and they're maintaining their hegemony. So don't be fooled by these people. That's what I'm saying. And this guy hates England. So this mulatto man who's born and raised in England, he can't express his grievances with the country. They're going to say deport. But the same Anglo is going to cry like a bitch about immigration. Deport. He's going to cry like a bitch, cry about the politicians, cry about immigration. See, he can have grievances. That's okay, no problem. See, they're not going to frame it that he hates England or he hates his country or that they're un-American right here in the United States. Right? But it's the same rhetoric with the white nationalists, whether across the pond in the UK or in the United States. Same rhetoric. Oh, you hate America because you have a grievance with a certain social order that you're challenging. See, they want to be allowed to challenge a social order. But when you do it, they try to say that they frame it as if you hate England or you hate America, you hate your country or something, you're unpatriotic, you're a communist. All these buzzwords, right? I just want to start out and point that out. It's very crucial you analyze their language. They're saying he hates England, but how? Like they don't. He doesn't provide any evidence or receipts. Let's play with this guy the audio of this clip. Little short 22-second clip. I don't know how is this evidence that the guy hates England. He's just like rapping and it's a political. Punk rock is political. Let's check this out.
The first time I was called nigger, I was about 7 or 8 years old. I was playing across the street and one of the older kids called me. I went home for bath time a little later and asked my mum what it meant. My white mum. She told me it was a bad word. We didn't appear we lived here.
Does anything there suggest that he hates England? And he points out the fact he has a white mom and a black father. Like, well, what does that have to do with anything? Right? Clearly an agenda, right? Clearly an agenda. Let's get into it. Because now the mulatto's got the microphone. The thing is where these people, they think they can talk about you, put a target on your back, slander and smear you, and you're not supposed to say anything about it. They think they get free reign to have all these agendas on you. And it's unfortunate. You got too many pussy mulattoes who are scared and they go run hiding. It's unfortunate, but I got to be the guy. I got to be the bad guy up here to give you guys a voice. And of course, you all find me. You guys all come to me. I don't go to you. I never where you're all hiding. All you mulattoes are hiding, right? I'm the man who gives you courage to jump up out here and to make some content. Yeah, I'm that guy, right? You have this page here. It says decentralized party, and he calls it Bob Marley syndrome. Bullied by blacks for not being black enough, being too intelligent to fit in with real blacks. That's funny, real blacks. Pretty sure it's like a white account, a white guy, right? The real blacks. See, it's funny because they know the mulatto. They see the real blacks. You're too intelligent for them real blacks, right? Yeah, the whole world knows. Everyone knows. Latinos, Asians, everyone knows, right? They only try to trick you to maneuver you, right? I'm talking about the Bantu. Intelligent to fit in with real blacks, and they end up last. Many such cases. Akala, another guy. Akala is another guy I heard about from a UK gentleman. As they gotta be super pro black. I first heard about this Akala guy several years back. You know, he's very articulate. Obviously, college educated, reads books. He's part of the whole activism stuff. And look at him right here. His picture. He has like a microphone, a mic. So yeah, he go these speaking engagements. He gets paid money to speak to all the like insecure, Afrocentric people and give them some confidence and stuff. Yeah, he's part of that kind of market cabal. And but he's a mulatto cat. I saw a video of this guy, like I said, a few years ago, where he was basically talking against mulatto nationalism. That's how he framed it. He said he was against mulatto nationalism because he's one of these subordinate mulattoes who they found their place in virtue signaling Afrocentrics. They found their place in the black identity and serving that identity because a guy like him, they'll lift him up to the top, like they call the cream of the crop, right? So he'll be lifted up top if he just speaks to them and placates to their needs. And in England, he's like one of their guys, right? He's not famous over here. We don't even know who he is. I mean, just with social media, we're talking about him now. But prior to all like doing any of this, I know who this guy is. Don't care, I don't. But yeah, I saw a video. He said that about mulatto nationalism. Like, why is this guy against people who are similar to him? How does that happen? I mean, you see that with biracial baby mamas, where they've been programmed by black people. Not even, I'm not going to see, people put the blame on black people. It's not black people's fault. It's the mulatto's fault, who is opportunistic, who sees an opportunity to be advanced within black society. And how they do that, they throw other mulattoes on the bus. So like with this whole like biracial baby mama, some of these people will talk and say like, well, black women program these light-skinned women or biracial women. No, 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 they didn't. You act like these women are so dumb and stupid. A lot of them are. Okay, a lot of the men are too. So the little, feminists don't get all wild. Okay. But a lot of the biracial baby mama, like some of the males try to frame it as if they're programmed by black women to hate on like light skin or mixed men. No, no, it's not no, 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 no. They're opportunistic. They know this is part of the deal. If they want to fit in with that society, they have to throw the biracial male under the bus to fit in with the dark skin community. That's the protocol. So they're not just dumb and naive and they're manipulated by these dark skinned people. No, 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 no. Leave dark skinned people out of it. This is a mulatto in house discussion. It's these opportunistic mulattoes who want power, dark skinned people. And in order for them to gain that, they the rest of us mulattoes under the bus. Now, I laid the preface there for the mulatto, the biracial baby mamas, which they're plentiful, very common. They're easy to detect. They're the loudest and dumbest. But this guy right here, this kind of academic, well-spoken, articulate mulatto cat, this Akala guy, he is the flip coin of that. But the male version, like it's the same thing. I saw a video, like I said a few years ago, where the guy's he's talking against mulatto nationalism, and I'm like, why are you even talking about this? Like, why do you care? Like, if you're black identified and you want to fight so hard for black people, like, why do that? Why are you against the rest of us? Now, for me, my whole thing is I stress mulatto community, cohesion community. I don't have any nationalism kind of references on any of my socials. My whole thing is to wake up mulattoes, destigmatize the word mulatto, and mulattoes have a tribe. It's on them to find it. I could do my best with the proliferation of this information, media, etc., the stuff that I'm doing, but you guys are gonna find me. You're gonna find me or other people, etc. You guys are gonna find the stuff. They're gonna find the material. It's on you to seek a community and cohesion with others, similar like you. The whole nationalism thing, organically, people are going to develop it, and they already have. I mean, there's already spaces out there I've seen. I'm not gonna name names, but there's other like mulatto spaces out here in the blogosphere where they're already talking about this stuff. But for me, the branding, what you see, everything, what you hear, like I stress the community, right? Just want to lay it out there. But this guy right here, yeah, he talked about it like it's a bad thing or something. Mulatto nationalism is a bad thing. But would he say black nationalism is a bad thing? Of course he'd say no, of course not. Because they're victims. They need to have nationalism. Like everyone, it's okay for them to have nationhood, their own people, their own laws and enforcement. That's okay. But for mulattoes, see, they relinquish their own autonomy. These virtuous mulattoes, they relinquish their own autonomy for other people's sensibilities, particularly with the Afrocentrics. They adhere to their sensibilities at the expense of their own sovereignty. It's a very despicable existence, but that's what they have to do to, basically climb up the ranks within those Afrocentric circles. It's very common. We see similarly here in the United States. Yeah, it happens in, the UK and England and other places as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about it right now because this is kind of a more English centered discussion because these two gentlemen here, his band, he's what, Bob Vylan or whatever, Bob Dylan and this Akala guy, right? They're on the thumbnail. So, and like I said, it's a white guy who, made this kind of Twitter post. But I already knew right away, interesting commentary is going to come about when we examine this. So, yeah, let's see. I want to, another thing before I move on, look at the engagement. Now, he published this July 1st and 4 in the morning. July 1st, and that was like 3 days ago. 2 million views, 2 million eyeballs saw this post of this guy, Steve Laws, saying white mother, black father hates England, deport, right? 2 million. I don't have that reach. That's why I wanted to mention that. Like people, Like the mulatto like me, I don't have that reach. There are mulattoes who have a large reach, but they're talking about some gay shit or pop culture or something that's not relevant to the mulatto plight. Does that make sense, guys? Like, yeah, there's mulattoes who are branded, in the public, and they're popular and all this stuff. They have a lot of numbers, but they're talking about innocuous topics. This guy's topic is highly political, highly racial. Racial because he's signifying white and black. And he's also signifying a level of patriotism. I see that England hates England. And he says deport. So this is very racial, very political. This guy's post, 2 million views. Where's it right there? 2 million views, 3K retweets, 51,000 likes. Like, I don't have nowhere near the engagement. So people cry and complain about me. I love it because you guys are just promoting me. But at the same time, I'm looking at like, well, shit, I have nowhere near this type of reach for my message. I inspire a mulatto to start making videos. They end up running, hiding like a week later. It's weird. I don't know. Their Anglo boss tapped him on the shoulder, told him, get back in line, boy. Don't talk that mulatto stuff. So it's look at this reach. That they're talking about you, and they get over 2 million views. And we know this is an Anglo dude. We know with blacks, it's a similar thing. They have YouTube videos hating on light skins. I saw like I shared a screenshot on my community post several hours ago. And yeah, that video was almost at like 100,000 views and shit. I'm like, they get all these views hating on you guys, spinning and basically spreading a narrative on you. They get all these views and engagement. But you create a channel or social media, you barely have any engagement. They're trying to run you and get you up out of here. You're like, what gives? What gives? It's an anti-mulatto agenda. My goal here is to get mulattoes to stop being punks and cowards, start to speak up. Okay. And if you have some solutions, if you're quote unquote doing the work, because none of you are, you're just all talk. But if you're going to do the work, do the work. Show us the results. We're all here waiting. We're waiting for you. So yeah, let me go jump into this. Let's see what in this thread they got going on. Marley was half Jewish, like Lenny Kravitz. There seems to be a theme who coin clip. They interbred with the subspecies and then promoted them via music to encourage a bloodline mix. Interesting. The funny thing about this Kravitz, they failed this comparison. This is just white nationalist rhetoric, right? The comparison is not even applicable because, yeah, Lenny Kravitz has a Jewish father, but Lenny Kravitz married and procreated with another mulatto. So this idea where they're spreading as white nationalism, trying to say encourage other races to destroy their bloodline. Lenny Kravitz maintained his bloodline. This is one of the reasons why I promote him. I've always been a fan, even as a kid, before I developed all this consciousness and this vocabulary. When I'm talking to you guys now, like I just like the music. I like Lenny Kravitz, the kind of the music and his style and stuff. But now, obviously, more conscious, have the vocabulary. I'm like, well, yeah, I like him even more now as an adult because he married a mulatto woman and had procreated with her, continue the tradition. So it's like he's not destroying anyone's bloodline. He's maintaining his. But see, they have a problem with it, right? With this little mouse, little, avatar, little typical little, Wingnat Anglo on Twitter, cowards, biggest cowards on social media. But yeah, they got it all wrong. Now, who else he put? He's put Bob Marley. Bob Marley, yeah, he married a lot of other mulattoes as well. Look at Bob Marley's offspring. I don't really see any dark skinned people. These are like all like mixed people in Bob Marley's lineage. You guys know more than me. You're probably more fans of like reggae and Bob Marley than I am. So you guys for sure know more than me. But I'm looking at like Ziggy Marley and these other like Marley kind of the offspring, and like they kind of look like Bob Marley. They share his skin tone, complexion. They look even more whiter than him. I'm like, what the hell? So whose bloodline did they really ruin? They didn't ruin anybody. See, the fact your existence, they look at you as a threat. And my job is to get mulattoes to understand that you guys got to kind of pay attention to this. Not kind of, you have to. Yeah, they're very bold because we can talk about the Bantus or blacks all day. It's very easy because they're very bold too. But what about these guys? What about who else is talking about them? What about these guys? They're very bold talking about you. He says, not quite intelligent enough to be white. There's something intelligent about Bob Vylan. Nothing at all. He says, oh, nothing. I said something. I misread it. Yeah, nothing. But who is this guy? Yeah, blessed is the man. Yeah, so a Bible quote, very typical with their kind. He said he talks football, politics, current affairs, pop culture, everything in between. Yeah, it's just basically white nationalists. Football. He's got football first, watching blacks on the field, right? And politics, current affairs. Yeah, whatever. You're typical. We already know your kind. He puts here, to be honest, this isn't a take I expected from ULL, but I fully agree with this one. Yeah, bullied growing up because white mom, a mud shark, black father never around, kid confused, feels white, wants to be white, but can't be because half breed. Interesting. And there's no other comments there, but 20, or the comment, I can't see it, but 23 likes. Wants to be white, but can't be. I mean, oh, he's talking about this guy here, Akala. I don't know much about this fella. Like I said, I saw a video of him kind of talking crap about like mulatto nationalism. And I'm looking at him like, why is that necessary for you to talk about mulattoes who want to organize and have their own thing? Like, would he have that same energy of blacks? No, he would say, oh, the blacks, they can have nationalism. They're victims because he identifies with them. I'm saying he's the flip coin for the biracial baby mama who hates on biracial men, talks crap about biracial men to appease dark-skinned men. Like, this is the flip coin of that, right? He's against mulattoes having our own shit to appease dark-skinned people because he's favored in preference in that community if he toes the line. It's the same with the biracial baby mama. They got to toe the line. They got to be bastardized and be dumb and ghetto. With this guy, he's got to be intelligent, say the right things, and his speaking engagements paint them as victims, beg white people to get donation money to support BLM. That's the whole grift, their whole cottage industry. They have a picture of Drake here. I don't know what the hell does Drake have anything to do with this? The guy's a billionaire. It says Marley was Jewish. Many famous black musicians aren't really black and don't have a white mother, like it's assumed. No, he wasn't. He says Bob Marley. I think Bob Marley's father. I don't know the whole history of Bob Marley, like I previously said, but regardless, the guy puts here sort of, but doing the IDF insult on stage wasn't smart. I actually like his music, but getting woke is going to cost him, and woke conformism isn't punk. Punk is being counter to the current thing. See, this is a bunch of hogwash. What is he talking about? He says sort of, but the IDF thing insult, it wasn't smart. And this is a UK guy, Brent Cooper. And he look at the flag he has right here. Friend of all who follow Hashim in their own way. He's a Zionist. That's what I'm telling you. The Nazis and Zionists work together. Okay. Taking the piss out of the far left. So he's a far right, pro-Zionist, libertarian, and he's UK, Brent Cooper UK. We know the position. See, he said it wasn't smart to criticize IDF. Why not? You guys, all these people, you guys censor people. The public is like to look up and find out who are these people. Why is the established order so? Who are they? What are they saying? Talking about this guy because you fools try to cancel him, and it didn't work. You didn't cancel anything. You just make him more famous. But yeah, we already know this guy's position. He's pro-Zionist, right? He wants to troll the liberals. Is it one of these like busters in the UK, little punk? And yeah, it wasn't smart to insult the IDF. And then he says right here, getting woke. That's not punk culture. This pro-Zionist is gonna, is gonna tell you what punk culture is. What the hell is punk like? What are you talking about? Didn't the Sex Pistols have a song called like that what God Save the Queen? They have the Clash, London Calling. They have all these songs. They talk about like the fascist in the 70s. I don't know all the tracks of the songs, but like the Sex Pistols was a band. I know in the UK, right in the 70s. Yeah, they said that God save the queen, like the fascist regime, something like that. One of the lines in that song. I knew the lyrics more so back when I was like a teenager when I listened to more of that music because it was cool at that time. But I forgot, I completely forgot the lyrics of that song. But yeah, like the punk rock scene, a lot of them they talk authoritarian, anti-authority. Like there's a band in the United, it's a American band, I believe. It's called Anti Flag. It's like a punk band. And they have a band called, I know a band, I saw them in concert before, Ad Religion. And they criticize structure. Yeah, Anti Flag is an American punk band, and they're from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So like the whole like scene of punk rock is to criticize the established order and all the regimes and the ruling power, the monarchy, fascism, all of that. So you have this pro-Zionist guy talking about woke. I told you from the beginning of the stream, and I already knew in this post when they're going to attack this mulatto, it's a smokescreen when they attack the mulatto, or even if they attack the Muslims or browns or even black people, it's a smokescreen. The Zionists and Nazis and the Anglos, they work together to maintain the social order. And the Anglos serve the Zionists. And that's what their main grievance is for. But you see, they're allowed to have a grievance. See, they're not going to call it unpatriotic or that you hate America or you hate England. They only put that on the mulatto man. They'll put that on mulatto. We're going to deport you. You hate America because you have a grievance with the social order. But oh, they can have their grievance while they work behind the scenes with their paymasters. Yeah. Yeah. You guys, the mulattoes have a voice. You guys need to start amplifying it. Because I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I already know. I scare people. I motivate people. Then I also scare people away. They run scared to their white master. I get it. You know, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's cool. But yeah, eventually you guys are gonna wake up. Is that the same thing as Courtney Love syndrome, bullied by whites for not sharing the heroin, being too intelligent but not sharing it, and ended up with that love shotguns too much? Many cases of Muslims will show you plenty, much such cases in the 2030s. Yeah. What happened to the one drop rule? Yeah. What happened to it? What happened to the one drop rule? Let me see this comment. Such retarded autism only exists in the United States. Even Hitler considered it stupid. That's funny. It's true though. Obama and Meghan Markle are both half white, half black, but they look black. Anything mixed with black becomes and you got that, the N bomb, right? Interesting. See that? Let me save that. Let me gotta examine that in the future. So they enforce, this is the kind of the Anglo supremacists. They enforce the one drop rule, you see? They don't want these mulattoes to have their own shit. They look at that as another competitive group. You see that? Right? And a lot, you have to understand, people like this, a lot of the black supremacists, they love people like this because that this is kind of their like affirmation. They're like, yes, they're gonna try to push these mulattoes with us so we can punk them and bastardize them, right? So they like people like that. Like, oh, when they the reference they usually use is like, oh, when that white man, the white cop, when they pull you over, they finna seize you as a black like us. You gonna be with us. You gonna be with the blacks. You can say you biracial mix, or what was that? The Ginger the Hut. Remember that fat idiot? Remember she was saying, "Oh, well, whatever your birth certificate says, that's what you is. You gonna be with the blacks because your birth certificate says you black, so you with the black too." See, this is the same shit they push, right? And remember, people like her, they serve these racist Anglos, so they love these narratives. They don't challenge. That's the thing with the mulattoes challenge the Anglos. See, the Bantu loves their condition. They're just upset that we get more shine than them. They're mad as Zendaya. You have dark skin, YouTubers crying about black erasure because Zendaya is getting roles and they're not. Right? They just cry because we get more shine than them. Just like the males, the dark skinned Bantu males cry about Drake and hip hop because he's the best. King of hip hop. Just like they cry about the NBA calling it the National Biracial Association, all these biracial light skinned males dominating in the field on the court and base basketball. Same thing. They cry because we're more palatable, more representation for us than they are. And that's what they cry their massa about, right? Yeah. Tell me I'm lying. Please tell me I'm lying. And he puts, but Bob was loved by all. Yeah, because he was an entertainer. I don't know. Did he get political? It says, sorry, not intelligent at all. Mixing a 70 IQ with a 100 IQ does not make you more intelligent. 85 IQ is still only 3 points away from being non-employable. Princess McFawny, animal advocate, dog lover. So she's an Anglo butt sniffer, right? Dog lover, typical. Anglo sleeping with her dogs, bestiality, typical with them. She puts rhino adore and dancer, loved. Okay, tea time, but definitely no sugar in my tea. Yeah, 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 whatever. DP, you literally have mutt kids and a non wife. Probably meant to say non-white. But in this case, you would have firsthand expertise. Now, DP, now this is a Cecil Rhodes image. He's an image of Cecil Rhodes, right? What is this guy? It says Der Social Horn, and yeah, it says admirer of engine, Fisher, proud social Democrat with 3 Ks, right? So typical troll account, typical prey to Putin, typical white nationalist account. He's got a Cecil Rhodes avatar, right? That image there. We all know Cecil Rhodes. Who's the guy said DP? Was it? Oh, it's a decentralized party, which is a new. This is like a UK. I could tell by the spelling. Decentralized. They spell with the SE. So this is British English, right? So I don't know this account. I'm not familiar, but he's claiming that guy there. He says DP, decentralized, whatever party. You literally have mutt kids. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a Anglo guy with his Indian fetish that's popular in the UK. White guy and Indian, wife. Just like the United States. I know they call Indians Asian over there in the UK, but over here, like Asian, they say like Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, right? So now that's very common here. Number one interracial relationship you have is white boy with his Asian fetish. So you have a lot. It's very common here. Mark Zuckerberg and all the rest of the white nationalists, right? Interesting. Exactly. They are like orcs in Lord of the Rings. They were once white people, once twisted, corrupt by Jewish witches, ruined, full, like, look, nig blood. Mr. Anglo. 28-year-old Englishman, online content creator, proud British nationalist. But he says they blame the Jewish people. It's so crazy how they blame Jewish people for it's like these are your masters. You proudly serve them. Red is like all filled with, see, but what they do is they pull the wool over their eyes. The Anglo incel, they pull the wool over their eyes and say, look at that brown, look at the white woman with the black baby daddy. That's what that whole page, the garbage human, it's an Israeli guy living in Australia runs that whole account. That's what they do on this social media. They get these little Anglo white boy wingnat incels all fired up. They show them, hey, look at this white woman with this black guy. They got a mulatto kid. And then the Anglo incel gets enraged. And then they blame the Jew guy. But it's like these people are like poking at you, laughing at you. It's a very interesting sight to see. And I'm just here to basically report the news. But typically, yeah, they're always going to blame the Jews and for why they're in a very weak position currently. Funny how you conveniently forget to mention the exclusion from whites too. It's always I've always wondered about this and had this theory on my own. Did you know? Says LL, you guys say whatever to cope. Yeah. Bob Marley syndrome. I think that's it for that thread. This was just one little partial thread for this guy, Akala. I got him on a thumbnail, but it's kind of part and parcel because he's a UK cat. Like I said, and I first heard about this guy because he was talking crap about mulatto nationalism, that there is no need for it. I don't know why these mulattoes want to have any pride in themselves. Just serve blacks and be special like me. We don't all have the same path as you, bro. We're not all interested in that. We're not going to romanticize being a victim. We're not all into that. We want our own destiny, our own identity, our own community. We want to provide for our own outcomes. That's it. We don't serve these other groups. And I think that's the thing with these black identified mulattoes. We're gonna make sure they understand. Because right now they have more numbers and their voices are more amplified, and they have the backing and support from monoracial blacks and even the whites. The white like they support, they're gonna have the support from all these groups, right? But we'll have people like me and others who will persevere. The message will continue to grow, and more people will be like, now we have our own voices now. Now we're serving our own destiny, our own identity, our own plight. We're not going to fall in line with what these other people have for us. We're going to make the rules that work for us. That's called sovereignty. That's called autonomy. Okay. A guy puts here, he's made me rethink my sympathy for mixed race people. I still don't think they all should go, but I'm certainly open to it if they behave like him. Interesting. And his profile says nationalist, imperialist, absolutist. There you go. Absolutist. Okay. Yeah, there you go. If you don't have sympathy for this guy, you didn't have any sympathy at all. Bro is literally begging, pleading, shitting himself, wanting to be accepted. The child who is not embraced by his village will burn it down to feel its warmth. That's an African proverb, right? That's a very common, famous one. Yeah, the child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. Yeah. They should all go if it involves whites, as it's wiping out their numbers. Non-whites can mix until kingdom come. They don't matter. And then this is their words. These are your these are your buddies. This isn't for the Bantu. This is your massa, right? I'm not all of you, but I mean a lot of you, especially the ones who want to get uppity with mulattoes. We already know who you work for. You work for them. These are your enforcers. You call on them to censor us. You call on them to take down our channels, our social media. These are who you work for. Most of them won't act this way so blatantly because they're familiar enough with whites to use their empathy against them. I've seen it quite a lot. It's why you'll see so much propaganda pulling on heartstrings. Very effective against us. We don't claim this POS, but I do see where you are coming from. Might be because my father was white and not absent. On a side note, is this the kind of music Gen Z and Alpha listen to? Like, really? This stuff has me skipping videos to play clips of him and critique him. Yeah. Most mixed race people identify with their non-white side for more than their white side. Look at the guy's username, SpongeBob the Grape 2010. I mean, this is, are you going to take what he says, like, basically for seriously? And then, of course, Vlad says, except many Hispanics. Yeah, the Hispanics are more pro-Anglo than Anglos, very sadly. But the thing is because you need them for numbers, especially in the Americas. Because the Norwegians, the Swedish, the Swiss, the Germans, I've talked to many of these people. They already have stable economies, even the Danes. Why the hell are they going to leave their country to come to America when they already got, healthcare, they got education, that shit's paid for where they're at. They can get good housing, safe environment. Why are they going to leave that to come over here and compete, to deal with you fools, you MAGA Trump idiots, right? So they're good where they're at. So like the American stock, so if they want to maintain the Anglo numbers, they need to bring people in. So that's where the Hispanics come into play. That's why this guy's taught is a political strategy. We're talking about, well, the Hispanics. Well, yeah, they're they're more pro-white than whites. Yeah. And a lot of them are very proud. They're bold. They'll be bragging. Like, I'm Hispanic. I'm more racist than whites. I've seen these comments. I'm like, well, shit, I'm from California. Yeah, I know. I know you people. I'm not a fucking Bantu. I'm not naive. I already know you people. Okay. So it's funny. Yeah. In the context of England, there are there's no Hispanics. You got Indians there. Good luck. Yeah. And you guys are crying because they're taking your shit over. And you cry about them pooping in the street or that they smell or something. But you guys all love their food. They have good food, right? Curry and all that stuff. They got good food, but they still cry. They complain because the mayor of London's Indian and like, the prime ministers and like they cry because they're competing with them in politics now in the homeland. So they still find a reason to cry and complain. Are they going to blame it on woke culture? No, because woke is a code word for anything that has African descent. Anything that's African descent. So they'll throw mulattoes in that woke culture shit. That's what they're trying to say with this punk rock guy, Bob Vylan or whatever his name is. Yeah, that's a code word they use, right? They say woke. And the guy puts here, nigga, we don't have a choice. Nobody is going to think I'm white. I know this guy, yeah. Yeah, I don't look white. I'm white when I go to Africa. When I go to Africa, I'm white, but everywhere else it's a different story. And cut them in half with a saw and allow the white half to remain in the UK and send the black half back to Africa. Yeah, those are your guys' buddies, your friends. Look at this comment right here. I think they should be sequestered from society and trained to be an elite mulatto unit that will conquer and civilize Africa. They can then send us rooibos tea and precious gems while we enjoy civilization without blacks. Tsar of Odessa. Interesting. See, he's like, oh, send them on a mission, sequester them from society, train them to be the elite mulattoes to conquer the blacks, right? He has a Ukrainian flag, a British flag, Italian flag, and that flag is what Finland has right there. Finland, okay. Yeah, there you go. Those are your guys' buddies. Yeah, good. My cousin's mixed and she's an amazing person, but it's very frustrating how she always others herself from us from seemingly no reason. She has this weird bond with being half black that makes no sense, as her dad died when she was an infant and her black family are all loser scumbags. Yeah, it's common. Yeah. He is seen as black, treated as black, and experiences the world through the eyes society reserves for black men. No one stops to ask his lineage. The world has already decided. Now, don't let these blacks speak for you. Remember, they have a political agenda. This guy here, and he kind of looks LGBT just from this image. Let me move forward. But yeah, that's an agenda here. Well, they're treated as black. Okay, go to Africa. Let's see how black you are. See, that they never mention that part. You go to a majority black country, and all of a sudden the blacks don't really see you as black like them. You're like, well, wait a second. I thought the world sees me. No, the world's a big place. A lot of people, a lot of black people around the world. No, they don't see you as black. So don't let this conquered person living in his white man's homeland. Look at his username. It has a UK. So you know he's living in a white man's land. The the inauguring EIGN Inagrant FUK. I don't know, whatever. You guys can all see that there. But he has a UK at the end of his hash or his username, right? Indicating he's in the white man's land. He's in Anglo land. He's in England, right? So therefore, he's in majority white nation. And he's going to sit there and tell you you're going to be treated as black and seen as black. He's looking at it through a different focal lens, being a conquered subject to the crown. Right? If he grew up in Nigeria or Ghana, he'd have a whole different take. Be like, oh no, those are mixed people. Yeah. See, when you go in African continent, these different countries, Kenya, South Africa, these other nations, they know, oh yeah, you're mixed. Oh, you're mixed. Or they'll call you white. They have different words for that in each country in Africa. Yeah. So when you talk these colonized people, these Africans colonized are living in their massive homeland and shit in England or whatever, UK, don't take a damn word they say to heart. Same thing in the United States. You talk to these FBA, ADOS, you're mulatto. Oh, what the world gonna see is black, and they don't even have a passport. They don't travel. Like, do not listen to these people. They're not, they do not have your best interest. They have a political agenda. They want you to serve them. They want you to identify with them so they can use you to do their bidding. And what's their bidding? Well, they want to get closer to the white massa. So they want to use you as a bridge. Don't listen to these people. They owe you money. They need to pay you. All right. They're not offering you anything. I mean, they only offer the biracial baby mama like membership access, but even then, that's conditional, you know. So that's about it. It's pretty pathetic. I don't like her black family because to me they are pieces of s. Yeah, they're basically ignored for most. Yeah, inherited. Yeah, treated her as a princess, and she sees herself as black first. Yeah, Obama syndrome. They called it Bob Marley syndrome. Now they're calling it Obama syndrome. Hated his white, guilted mother and revered the father who was absent. But where's the evidence of that? Did he hate his mom, Obama? Is that in his book? He wrote a book, right, about his father or something. Did he hate his mom? I don't even know. Like, where's the evidence? And Mr. Anglo shows his carcass again. He says most mixed orcs must be put down. That's a threat, isn't that? Isn't that a threat? Put down mixed orcs. And he says, like, and this guy puts like deletion is bad, actually. Yeah. But see, this is how bold they are, right? Mr. Anglo is crate, right? So I get a kick out of it when I see these mulattoes who love being fetishized by Anglos, and it's okay, yeah, cool. Yeah. Hey, if you have a family, you're married, and you're starting a future, that's cool, good for you. It's just when I see these ones who are baby mamas and shit, I always think like the situation with the Cassie situation, she's Blaxican, right? I think her dad's Mexican and her mom is black, Cassie, and she was getting peed on and basically gagged out and dug out by a black Bantu, P. Diddy, right? And then once he was done with her, he passed her off to the white boy. And I heard there was like something about where the white boy like video chatted or video called her while Diddy was like, basically digging her out, which is very common with them and their kind, those people, those circles. But I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, yeah, and then she runs to the white guy who is okay with being cucked by the black dude. And I'm like, but then, and then they try to pass it off like it's such a good thing. And it's like, and then you go on Twitter and this is what they're talking. There's what they're saying about you. Right. I get a kick out of it because I see it like, especially on TikTok, I've seen it where they're like, oh, I love when like the divester shit is really opened up because there's a lot of the mulattoes who like still adhere to these kind of divester narratives. They don't understand like they're still like tools. You think you want to brag and think you're better than the black female, but you're still taking on a lot of their pathology where you're worshiping this white guy who's literally taking a piss on you. And like literally the comment right here, he's telling you like you shouldn't even exist if they can't use you. I'm just sitting here analyzing this stuff like this is insane. You run across these people and I'm like, yeah, for me, I gotta basically curate the circles, keep it tight knit. That's why I'm like, I mean, yeah, I'm an observer more than anything. But like I said, I report the news here. I'm easy to get in contact with. I think kind of people are kind of um they're disillusioned or something by that because I'm like a very accessible person. So it has this kind of sense, I don't know how to articulate it, like of openness or whatever, which yeah, I'm very open. Like very easy to access. You can message me, contact me, whatever, and stuff. I just sit back and watch all of you guys and I report the news. I'm sitting there in the general public, like, is this good? Is this okay? Look at this. What do you think about this? Is this good? Does this make sense? So yeah, and by the way, on that note, guys, go ahead and follow me over on Twitter if you're not already. Mulatto Vanguard is spelled with one T. Go follow me over on Twitter. I'm promoting Twitter right now. Shameless plug. Go follow me over there if you guys aren't. So because over there, I feel like I can be a little bit more um, straightforward. I mean, I'm pretty straightforward here, but yeah, whatever. It says Euro Marican says they and their mothers go. You're a traitor. If you have any sympathy for them, you're hilarious. Imagine judging a group of people off one person's actions. Um, he puts here, I have such sympathies, but I have come to the conclusion that there's a natural hierarchy when it comes to a mixed race individuals, and mulattoes are on the bottom of it. Interesting. You see how he puts here the mulattoes. You mulattoes, see, they're publicly identifying you for what you are. And this is why I try to tell mulattoes, like, if you want to be one of these gay, stupid, dumb mulattoes who doesn't like the word mulatto and you rather use mixed race or biracial, you know who I'm talking to. I'm talking about biracial guy who creates a biracial channel on all the platforms, deletes his damn channel a week later, creates a whole new damn channel. The one thing you notice about this guy, and no, we're not related, because the lesbian, femcel, groomer, predator, the future is golden, is trying to tell everyone else that I'm related to this one guy who's obsessed with the word biracial. This guy, he deletes his channels, he creates a new channel. Every fucking channel he creates on all the platforms, you know it's the same guy because he's obsessed with the word biracial. Every fucking channel and page this guy pops up, even on Twitter, he does the Twitter stuff or the TikTok or whatever, YouTube, he always has biracial in the handle. And no, it's not biracial awareness, because biracial awareness is the same across the platforms. Not talking about him. I know who he is. He's a good guy. I vouch for him. Not biracial awareness. Or unapologetically biracial and proud. Those are mulatto women. I'm not talking about them. There's a specific guy who's kind of incognito or tries to be, and he creates these biracial pages, but he deletes them, and he creates another one, he deletes them. This number one thing I know, it's the same weird guy. Like, he's obsessed with the word biracial. He's obsessed with that word biracial. But the thing is, like, when you analyze these wingnat, white nationalists, Zionists, even these black supremacists, what is the common theme? When they talk about mixed race, they're always highlighting mulatto. This is it. I have it highlighted right here. Mulatto. They're not saying Blasian. They're not saying Hoppa. They're not saying Euro African and golden and light skinned and light skinned black. We from the community. We like, no. They're specifically highlighting you, mulatto. You people haven't figured it out yet, or you're too pussy to report the news, to analyze this stuff. They're right here up in your face talking about you. This was what, 3 days ago, a couple days ago, 2 days ago, July 2nd. They're right here, right in your face, telling you it's you they're talking about, mulatto. It's not my fault you guys haven't figured it out yet. I mean, I'm just doing my best to inform people, but he's saying when it comes to mixed race individuals, mulattoes are on the bottom of it. Interesting. That's what he's saying. His words, not mine. He says, I believe the African admixture has played a huge role in why Middle Easterners are so effed up. Interesting. That's his perspective again. I'm pointing out the fact that they're highlighting you specifically, mulatto, as I've been noted and I've been documenting for a while now. So, it's just you guys, and you want to play this stupid game that I don't like the word mulatto. Doesn't matter what you like, bitch. They don't like you. They're singling you out. Yeah, so I kind of went off on a little tangent there just because why not? But yeah, there's just so much commentary here. Let's see the timing. I'm at about an hour into this. Okay. Yeah, there's so much here. I just want to jump up here and share this with you guys that yeah, because I could be, and I really it don't want to. Then wake up and go to the gym, rinse, cycle, repeat. Work, put in so much work hard, and then plan my next trip, chilling on there with some and so yeah, so like I said, this is very common. I just want to kind of gloss over and highlight this, guys. I'll share this thread so you guys have access to it, so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Guy puts here, remember Akala, another mixed race raised by a white single mother, grew up to blame Britain for all his upbringing, all written in his book. These people are indoctrinated hating this country. But see, when it's the other way around, you have like a Tommy Morrison, or I think that's his name, Tommy Rob, whatever, some far right guy in England. He's a white boy. See, they can write books talking about how England's not the way it used to be and immigrants are in England. They can talk bad and have grievances against England. They're never going to like say that they hate their country. They're never going to report it as they don't like where they're from. The guys, Adolf Hitler wasn't even born in Germany. Wasn't he like an Austrian or something? He's from another country. And he served in the German army or Prussian army in the World War One or something like that. But like he was not even born in. Same thing with with the guy, the Russian cat. Or he's actually not even. He's the Russian leader. He was, but he was born in Georgia. It was Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin was born in Georgia, isn't he? A Georgian, but he became the leader of Russia. So it's like, but what I'm saying is that they'll elect people who are foreigners, leaders of their nations. But then these same people, they can have grievances of their country. They're never going to challenge their patriotism. And I'm pointing out with this mulatto. See, I'm taking this mulatto side. It's unfortunate he's not going to take our side. He's going to try to go against us for the Bantus, just like the biracial baby mamas do. The mulatto men to serve Bantu males because that's where their privileges are, right? And that's also partly because the mulatto men haven't done enough to work together to create spaces, create businesses, create unions where these women can feel like they're pedestalized and have a space. It's it's ultimately on the men. Be real. But yeah, some of these baby mamas, you just got to get rid of them. They're out of control. I mean, when I say get rid of them, it's just basically kick them out of your circles and space, block them, get them out of here. Don't even deal with them. Just replace them with people who are going to be cooperative. That's what I mean. Because they're already damaged goods, and especially if you're a multiple time baby mama, you got 6 baby daddies and 27 fucking, you know, you got 27 baby daddies and 10 kids and all these guys. Like, why are the decent people even dealing with you? You're basically you're just stay there with the scummy people. We don't need you over here. So let's see, check out this comment, and then I'm gonna get to your guys' comments right now. Guy says mixed race racists are the biggest fools pretending they're black if they have a drop of black blood, which ironically is how white supremacy works. It's a way of keeping the white race pure, seriously low IQ. If you are mixed race, just accept yourself. You are mixed. In a mixed up world, and awful people on both sides will see the worst in you when it suits them, and it leads to people rejecting half themselves. It's awful for mixed race kids when you read experiences on Reddit. On Reddit, I don't even use Reddit. It's similar, kind of like Twitter in a sense. You lot out of pussies and cowards hiding behind avatars. It's not as real for me. I'm a little too real. I don't know. I know there's people out there probably talking shit about me on Reddit, but okay, they can be the little trolls and pussies and Fruit Loops hiding behind an avatar. That's where they belong. No relevancy. So, that doesn't, yeah, that the whole Reddit thing, that doesn't, it has no basically kind of, with all the social media platforms, who's referencing Reddit? Come on, guys. Do you guys invest in their stock? What's the market look like? Let me check. What's Reddit's market looking like right now? Because I just checked Meta. It's like 700 a share. Let me double check and see where Reddit's at. What's the value looking like for Reddit? You guys use that app? You use that platform, Reddit? You think it's reputable? Where are they at? Let's see. It's 157 a share. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really have any. To me, there's no validity in it. I don't know. Don't really care. With all the other platforms out here, it's just another one. Whatever. One side is always worse and wants to use you. That's, I don't know if this guy's mixed or whatever, but that's kind of the predicament. That binary nature is that I'm trying to get mulattoes out of, to say seek the wholeness and oneness, the union, being a whole individual, your sovereignty and yourself, the fusion of European, African, mulatto. Because if you play this side like Akala, he wants to play the pro-black side. Yeah, they're going to use you to fight their battles because they want white adjacency. That's the pro-black shit. If you're a mulatto and you're a pro-whack, you're fighting their battles because they want white adjacency. So they're going to have the mulatto stooge arguing against white people and white privilege and all this crap. And then they're basically just uplift dark skinned people to get closer to their white massa. That's the whole game you guys play. All right. And then for the mulatto who's on the white side, like this Cuban mulatto guy, what's his the Enrique Tarrio, the Proud Boys guy, what his position is, or even you have the guys like the Hodge twins, those guys, right? They're basically going to try to paint it whereas, oh, these black people are they're, they act funny and this and they act funny and that, or we're the different types, we're different than them. And in that case, I know you guys could probably articulate it better than me, but I feel like you guys kind of understand with the minimal explanation I gave you where I'm getting at, right? With some of the people who are like on the right, extreme far right, I'll say far right, with the grifting. Sage Steele is not a part of that. She's biracial identified. No, she's not a part. I'm talking like the kind of the troll guys like the Hodge twins, where they try to act like they're a little different. And it's like all they do is like troll, and then the Enrique Tarrio type of guy, where he's like super like was it the Proud Boys or super patriot and stuff, and like aren't you like Cuban or something, like you're not even, you know they're just as cringe as these pro blacks. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, where's the middle ground for these people? Why are they pushing to one side versus the other? Why aren't they trying to find their own solution that serves them? That's the whole, for me, the whole thing is to balance, to have your own lane. Stick to your lane and build upon it, make it better. It serves you instead of serving these other people like Enrique Tarrio. It's like, okay, bro, you're surrounded by white boys. And they put you as a leader because you're the fall guy. You did prison time. I know Trump pardoned him. He got out and all this stuff. But it's like, you're the fall guy. You're the mascot for them. But it's mostly white. And then like with the other, I just mentioned them, the Hodge twins, mostly white audience. So he can like, talk the conservative grifter crap and talk about ghetto black people. Like that's so hard to do. But it's like you're playing into their hands. You're serving them and their agenda. And yeah, they're getting rich off of it. They're getting views and money and notoriety. But at the same time, it's like, well, who the hell are you as a person? Like, what's your purpose? It's not a noble cause when you serve these other entities. See, when you serve yourself and you help your family, you improve your condition, like that's to me is noble. But I don't see like some clowns and trolls. I don't see that as being like a noble situation. Um, Yeah, so don't let them be mixed race and proud. Yeah, okay. That's it. Guys, go follow me over on X if you're not already. If you guys use the platform, go follow me over there. I could get into all these comments, but I'm not. So I'm going to get to your guys' comments right now. I just wanted to highlight that I based it off this guy. Like I said, they kind of made him famous now. This Bob Vylan guy. He's a British guy, mulatto guy. They basically made him famous because he spoke out against the IDF. And they're making it not even about what he said about the IDF. They're falsely claiming he hates England. And I told you guys, they're always the Zionists and the Nazis work together. The white nationalists, Wingnat, Nazis, because the Anglos, they serve the Zionists. They all work together, but they're going to frame it as the mulattoes are the big problem. They're always going to scapegoat mulattoes and just brown people or whatever people in color in general. They're going to scapegoat the Muslims and immigrants. But remember, the Anglos, they serve their Zionist masters. So they're going to frame it as if this guy hates England because he is basically expressing his grievances. To them, he's not allowed to. He's saying, deport him because he's expressing his grievances with the society he's raised in. To them, they're equating that with hating England. But oh, the white boy can complain about immigration, complain about the government. Oh, he's a patriot. Guys, analyze the language, the terminology they use. See, for you, they're going to say woke. That's a code word for African descent. They're going to say you're unpatriotic, you're un-American, or you hate your country because you have a grievance. But for them, it's all the good shit, right? Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I first saw this, I was like, this popped across my algorithm. I was like, interesting. So they're not even talking about the fact that he's criticizing the IDF because they're harming children in the Gaza Strip. That's why the whole world is pissed off at them because they're harming people, they're harming children. That's the main reason why people are pissed off at them. But see, this guy, right? he's going to try to make it seem like, oh, it's because he's got a white mom and a black father and he don't like the country of England. Let's deport him, right? See, pulling the wool over your eyes and scapegoating and basically turning it into an other issue. When this guy has a freedom of speech, I don't know, he's using his voice to speak against atrocities happening. They don't like when the mulatto man has a voice and uses it, right? That's what I'm getting at. And yeah, I'm not a fan of this guy. I'm gonna go reiterate. I'm not a fan because he actually opened his mouth to say mulatto nationalism is not a good thing, which I'm not even promoting mulatto nationalism. There are mulatto nationalists out here. My thing is mulatto community. You guys have to develop cohesion, find your tribe. You don't have to like my message, but there's going to be other creators who come up after me. See, find camaraderie with them if you like their message, whatever. And so my thing is with this guy, he's like talking against mulatto nationalism, but he didn't specifically highlight the negatives of it because he'll never be against black nationalism. What he's against mulatto nationalism is mulattoes having their own voice, their own personhood, their own autonomy and sovereignty, their own destiny. That's what he's against because he's black identified. He's got a white mama, raised by a white mama, but he doesn't like the white society there. So he wants to serve black people because he's given a preferential privileged position to serve them. He's found his niche in that society, that whole virtue signaling, social justice warrior, academically trained niche to be the basically talking head, you know, microphone for them. He'll tell black people how they're victims, imperialism, and the whites are so racist, even though they're hiring your ass. Okay, go back to Nigeria, go back to Jamaica, and go make your money. Can't do that. You got to go to the white man and work for his company, his corporation, make your money, right? So that he's going to be a part of that situation. Tell them how they're victims and all that. And of course, blacks will praise him. That's why he's like a leader amongst them in that country over there. But you have him over here in the States too. I'm not saying you don't. Of course you do. Michi X and, you know, the others. So I just wanted to highlight that there. And yeah, like I said, we're already over an hour into it. There's so much more I can say, but I'm gonna just leave it at that for the moment because yeah, I said as much as I think I need to. Basically, shut up and do what I say from the angle. Yeah, basically. Black people are colorist and hate mulattoes, then want to claim our women, and we supposed to take it as a joke. But then we are claimed the privilege. Not forget that. Yeah, just do not identify with blacks. If you're a mulatto man, stop identifying with them. Period. I just shared with you guys this Akala guy in the UK. Hey, if he found his niche, he's gonna make money being a little social justice. I would not recommend it for you guys. Find your own niche business, search out your own network and do that. Connect with other mulattoes, build your network. Don't serve these people, okay? And a lot of younger mulattoes, it's gonna be easier for them to figure it out. I feel like they're having a hard time understanding that the older cats. Even I'm a millennial, but even the Xers, etc. But I feel like the younger, the Z's, easily like they're already figuring it out quickly. I don't know if you're a Z, but I have a lot of Z's who follow me and whatever my platforms. And yeah, for them, like they figure it out fast. Because you have to. You're a male, you're a man, you're Gen Z, like you already get it. You work with these people, you see these savages. They're not your people. Like they're just joking to say it's just a joke, it's a joke. When you joke about them, they never forgive you. They remind you every day how you're a racist and you're anti-black and you're a colorist, right? They put it in your face every day. But when you put the mirror to them, all of a sudden they say, you can't just take a joke. See, it's only jokes when they threaten and harass you, right? When you match their energy, all of a sudden you're a racist, you're anti-black. You said a word that they didn't like, right? So my whole thing is I tell like if you're a mulatto man, just don't identify with them. Okay. Wake up and smell the coffee. I can only do so much doing these late night streams and stuff like that. This will be out here forever and ever. this material, I can only do so much. They always say the real blacks. This is why our mix. Yeah, they say real blacks. If you're mulatto, you're not a part of their group. If you haven't figured it out yet, that's on you, bro. I mean, I'm not saying you personally, but some of these other mulattoes who come up in here and complain, I don't like your tone, mulatto vanguard. You sound anti-black. It's like, okay, well, go suck them off over there. I don't know why you're over here on my channel. I don't care. Mulatto nationalism, never heard that phrase. Yeah, I don't talk mulatto nationalism, but that Akala guy, he made a video I saw a few years ago where he was speaking against it because there's already mulattoes out here. They're not going to bow down. They're already going to do their own stuff. I'm not a part of them or affiliated with them. They're not, vice versa. But they're out here. I'm one guy. And you look at the branding, Mulatto Vanguard, sure. I'm not getting punked by any of you people, but there's other mulattoes out here. They're not as public or outspoken as me. They're behind the scenes. They're doing what they're doing. He likes to be in grouped and out grouped. Yeah. Akala is a rapper primarily. He's written a book or two. He's not university educated. Yeah, I don't really know too much. I know he's one of these black identified guys. Nationalism, a word used by those from the left to vilify anyone who wants to be unified with those of similar traits. Sure. Yeah, shout out to you, Cyrus. Mulatto nationalism would apply a population large enough to have a mirror nation state. Mulatto community is a historical structure, really. You see in the U.S. in the past, South of Africa, yeah, in Brazil, yep. Black identified mulattoes should just go be black. Yeah, they should just go be black, but they're not black. They'll never be black. They got a black mama or and a white daddy, or they got a white mama and a black daddy. They'll never be considered black, right? So, but in order to, because they're always going to be an outcast, and they look different. They don't look the same as blacks. They're always going to be light skinned, they different features. So, in order to fit in with that majority monoracial society, they have to do their bidding in order to maintain the kind of safety and the security net to get black people off their back. So they always have to feed black people's egos to let them be assured that they're safe, that this is a mulatto they can trust, that this mulatto is not going to turn on them, right? Because there's a lot of suspicion. A lot of blacks have suspicion of mulattoes turning on them. That's a big fear they have, right? So in order for these black identified mulattoes to continuously kind of test themselves, or be tested, or prove themselves to black people, they have to fight their battles. And the main thing they'll do is they'll attack the rest of us mulattoes, living our lives, being free Americans, freedom of speech, jumping on social media, these platforms, and expressing ourselves. Their main goal is to attack us, to try to get us to fall in line with pro-whackness and baby mamaism. And I say baby mamaism because that's the route that the females will go in order to prove their blackness, right? To be a part of the black group, they're become baby mamas to black people. So it's the same playbook. I'm telling you, with this Akala guy, this guy who's an academic, but the baby mamas, it's the same exact playbook, just the different strategy, but it's the same thing. They have a black audience, and they cater to that black audience. They have to throw the rest of us under the bus to appease a black audience in order to fit in with that group, right? Shout out to you, Parda Mango. So the Owl Show puts, mixed race people who see themselves as black simply call themselves black and try to be a part of that community. They try to be a part of the community, but for whatever reason, they always find my page and try to pull me back in with the dumb rhetoric and the dumb one-liners. Like, I've heard all the rhetoric already before. Like, I had to block some guy today on I block people. I love to block. I tell people every day. If I see even some person that I stopped dealing with, and some hoes, some of these mulatto dudes are straight fucking hoes, man. They act funny with me, try to slander my name and smear me and shit, talk crap about me. Then they show up like a year later in my comment section. I'm like, what is this bitch doing here? You know, this guy was talking shit. trying to slander me and smear my name, and then he shows up like a fanboy in my comment section. Some guy today I had to block. That's on YouTube, but even on TikTok, some other like mixed guy, I had to block his ass too because that's my whole thing. Is like, okay, if you're a black identified, just go be with blacks. Why? But they come to the mixed pages, the mulatto pages, trying to convince us of something. It's like, bro, I've heard it all before. All the same one-liners. The world's going to see you as black. The police are going to treat you as black, or you're confused, or the seed of your father. And I've heard all of it before. If you're mixed and you're black identified, I tell it to the baby mamas, just stay your ass over there in Blackistan. Don't bring your dumb ass over here. I'm not interested in dealing with you. But they never seem to get that. They always creep up over here because, see, that's how they need membership access in the Blackistan. They have to do Blackistan's dirty work. They're their foot soldiers. So they have to try to check us and regulate us to appease blacks and prove the blacks. That's how it is. The males and females, they do that. I saw some guy earlier, man, on TikTok. I had to block his ass. I was like, if you're black, good. Go over there. Get out of my page. I get it. You're mixed. You're just as mixed as me. Okay, that's cool. But you don't identify with us. We don't want you over here. It's no reason. Like, you're just a servant to Bantus. We don't want you over here. Africans are not going to allow mixed people to ruin their countries. Doesn't happen. Yeah, they won't even consider you black in Africa. Yeah, I hate these pro-black mulattoes. Yeah, they're disgusting. They bring so much hate from white people on us. They don't even get anything in return. Yeah, and a lot of these whites, they're turning on all of us. They're hating on us, and I'm like, well, wait a second. I'm not the same as Akala. I'm not the same. Like, but it doesn't matter. I'm not. I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna tell these Anglos, I'm different. Fuck them. They can continue sucking Zionist cock. I don't give a fuck about these Anglos. That's their business. They can watch their women create mutinies, commit mutiny against them, and that's on them. They reap what they sowed because they know there's a difference. We're not all the same. But see, that's their supremacy and their arrogance, where they try to put all people in the same boat. Like they'll do with the Muslims. They'll say they're all the same, and the Arabs are all the same, and the Hispanics and all that. They that's what they do. That elitist mindset a lot of them have. They'll try to put all people in the same. That's kind of that where they'll group all absolutism. Even the one profile I shared, the guy in his friggin' headline title said absolutist. That's the absolutism where they'll frame all people as being one way, right? It's like, and that's their downside. That's why they're reaping what they're sowing. They're gonna try to frame all of us mulattoes the same way. I'm like, hey, fuck you. I'm not the same as a Kala, but I'm not gonna prove to your white ass that I'm not the same. I don't give a shit. You think what you want to think. That's on you. Yeah, but I'm not proving anybody anything. We're just doing our own over here. Fuck that. So many mulattoes think white men are all these noble white knights, and so yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, it's cringe. I seen that on Twitter or on TikTok. I've seen that. It's pretty pathetic. I think he also did a song saying, "I heard you guys want to get your country back. Shut the f up." Oh, talking to white nationalists. Yeah, because he challenged them. He challenged their rhetoric, right? Like I said, with them, they can have a grievance. The white nationalists can have a grievance against their country, their homeland, and they're considered patriotic for doing it. But when a mulatto man does it, who's born and raised, his mother, he's at least half by blood, is from the land. His mom's English or whatever, right? But they're they see the other half and they're gonna attack it, right? Weaponize his African side or whatever. But it's like he's got family and generations from that land. His mother, that's his heritage. It's like they can't deny him that. But they'll try to. But see, they'll frame it as he's unpatriotic or he hates England for criticizing certain elements. That's the game they play with you. They want to be the only patriots, right? That's why I've been saying on this platform, and people don't like it, that the patriotism is a code word for basically the nationalism, the white nationalism shit. I've been saying it, yeah. Heritage, like the Heritage Foundation, which is a major think tank, conservative think tank here in the States. They fund a lot of these politicians, and the heritage and then the patriot. These are all code words, man, that these new neo are using. And people be like, oh, leftist or communist. No, just pattern recognition. I see how you people are. We're becoming more astute to the lexicon. You guys are, yeah, because to you, you can grievances, and that's okay. You're patriotic, but when the mulatto man does it, all of a sudden he hates England. It's like, really? Where's the rhetoric that he ever said he hates England? By criticizing your ass, that means he hates England? No, maybe he's just trying to check your dumb ass. And that's it. Let's move on. We got here. I think he also did a song. I heard you guys want to get. Oh, you said the same comment. Shout out to you, Maximus, in the house. Yeah, I think I got through all the comments. Yeah, cool. I'm going to end it now, guys, like I said, and I'll catch you guys on the next one pretty soon. All right. Guys, make sure you guys hit the like button. If you guys like the video, the live stream, share it if you can. Someone will find some value in it. And to go follow me on over on X. Like I said, I was talking over about X today. Go follow me over on X. Very easy to do. I'll have it linked in the description of this live stream, also in the comment section. I'll put it there. If you guys don't agree with anything I'm saying, let me know. Post a comment. I appreciate your guys' engagement. It keeps us going, keeps me motivated for sure. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right. Peace out.